what I want to get you guys to think about, and with Excel open, I'll give you guys 2 or 3 minutes to do this together, is how many kinds of analysis can you do with a spreadsheet? How many different kinds of analysis? If you remember, we went through a list of like 6 or 7 different kinds, okay, and they were sort of broad categories. I want you to go dig into the menus, go and have a look through all of these things, okay, and see how many kinds of analysis are there that are, distinct varieties. I'll give you 2 or 3 minutes to do that, and then we'll come back together. All right, I think that's enough time. I think you got most of the main ideas. Let's start over on the right-hand side of the room. Just give me one. Just give me one. What's one type of analysis you found? Can be simple. Sorting. Sorting, thank you. I'm very glad this was the first one, by the way, because sorting is kind of like the bread and butter analysis of Excel, okay? Of all spreadsheets, really. You just want to get things in order. That's really, really helpful. That's very meaningful. When you can know who's the top, who's the middle, who's last, all that kind of thing is helpful. Okay, let's move over. Gentleman in the front, you guys have one that's different you can give me.
What if analysis.
What if analysis? You've got to be right with that one because it isn't has analysis in there. What if analysis? Okay.
Can you use the phrase what if analysis?
Yes, yes. This is a legit phrase. Okay. Now, by the way, in case you can't remember what it's about, right? It's when you've got a certain set of values that interact with each other that are related, okay? And you want one to be a certain value. For instance, you know how much money you've got, how much time you've got, how much interest you've got, and then using all of those, you can calculate how much am I going to earn on a loan, right? Well, suppose you want to target, I want to get to $50,000. So then you say, what if I have $50,000? What will happen to the rest of my variables? And you can adjust them, okay? Good. Let's go up the back. In the middle, guys. Can you give me one? A different one? We're missing lots of obvious categories so far, so you shouldn't have too much difficulty. Good. I'm waiting. Hey, Jack, Kevin, anyone? Okay, so Jack is not a valid method of analysis on a spreadsheet. I don't know which menu you found that in, but I'm going to give it a thumbs down. Can you give me one that's better than that? Really obvious ones are missing. I'm just going to wait. Oh. Any time. I'm sorry?
6.5. It's supposed to be a 6K race.
Yeah, I was very upset.
Was it 6.5?
Still waiting, gentlemen. We're all waiting. Everyone on YouTube is waiting.
But then it's shut down.
That's a pretty good speed.
Say it again, Ken. What do you mean by that? Can you explain how that's analysis? Shh. Yeah, good. Okay. So the idea behind lookup is particularly relevant when you've got massive pools of data. It's kind of like search, actually, which is also an important method of analysis. Okay. Pass go, collect $200, just barely. All right, over on this side. Girls, can you give us one? I think we're still missing the most obvious one, actually, apart from sorting. Anyone on this side? Say it again. Okay, calculations now. Let's go after this. As you guys know, there's calculations and then there's calculations. So what are some of the specific kinds of calculations that Excel can do which are helpful for analysis? Yeah, Leo.
Finding an average.
Okay, good. So an average or a mean. Okay, I heard another one over here. Standard deviation, which is a measure not of central tendency, but a measure of spread. Okay. Other ones? What other kinds of calculations can you do? Say that again. Okay, yeah, you can just add stuff up, right? Okay. Wow, we're going really. Are we going to do every type of mathematical operation?
Well, you could write standard operations.
Yeah. Okay. Standard operations. Okay, alright. Anything else? Mac, okay, yeah, Mac. Okay. Goes on the left-hand side. Can you give me one that's not on this list at all? It doesn't have to be a calculation. Anything else? Yep. Oh yeah, okay, alright, so yeah, okay, so format recognition. Whoops, sorry. Okay. We've got a pretty good set here, okay? But I think you're missing a huge one. Now, I think that even is similar to some of the calculations, okay? Yeah, okay, thank you. Now, look at this list, okay? Look at the list. All of this could be done back when I was still really young, and all we had was like text-based spreadsheets, okay? It was run in DOS, and it was really, the colors were awful, because there wasn't 16 million colors, there was just 16 colors if you're lucky, okay? None of this has to do with any of the visuals, so you're all missing, sorry, wrong one. You're missing an entire tab here. Look at all these guys. I would argue these are possibly the most valuable for us in terms of like basic analysis and what kinds of meaning we can get out of something, right? It's a graphical representation is what I'm after, yeah.
Is it graphing like organizing?
So, the question is graphing organizing? Yeah, I'm going to say, remember that the 7 processes, right? They don't neatly sort of divide up, okay? They're not, they sometimes overlap, okay? A typical example is, say, data compression, right? Which is sort of like organizing and analyzing and processing and probably story retrieving all at once, right? I think graphing probably fits better under analyzing. I think it fits better there. Because generally when we start organizing, we mean file format, like, say, Word versus PDF. Okay? So they're formatted in different ways for different purposes. And remember, the organizing is always going somewhere. Right? Whereas a graph might be your endpoint. I've done all of this other stuff and I finished with my graph. The graph is not for something else. The graph is the point. Okay? So you guys can read off all the different kinds of graphs. I should write that down. Graphical representation. You've also got not just graphical representation, but graphical interpretation. Do you guys remember? And maybe you want to just experiment with this in your Excel spreadsheet. I just want you to down a column, put some random values in. Maybe anything you like. Okay. I'll put some numbers down. Okay, now one of the cool things you can do, if you select all of the values that you just put down, and I think it's under home. Home? Yeah, okay, here we go. Up here. Conditional formatting. Can you see that icon? Yeah, it should be quite large. Okay. And when you select it, you've got all these different analysis options. They're all visual. Okay. So for instance, the one that I tend to use quite a lot, you might have seen me use it in exam breakdowns and reviews. Color scales. You can map these values to a color based on whether it's good or bad. Okay. So for instance, if I pick this one, okay, what do we got? Right. So the worst score is here, the deepest color of red. Okay. And the best score is here. It's the deepest color of green. And you've got everything else in between. Okay. And in fact, if you sort it, you can see the rainbow effect, right? Because it's just cascading across. And what's really great about this is, for instance, if you take a value, you can adjust it, and the colors will adjust along with it, right? It's dynamic. So, for instance, that rank there, right? It's still the same. It's still the same, okay? But now if I take someone that's in between, for instance, and make him say 90, okay? Can you see it's interpreting the value for us automatically, okay?